Upon installing and setting up the Insights application, you'll be given a new tab at the top of your Teams app for the Project Insights application. And you can see that this tab will appear for various channels where it's enabled. You can choose to enable or unenable it for each specific channel within your Teams account. And we're going to be going through this demo channel here. You'll notice that there's files associated with each channel in your Teams app. And for each channel, an associated SharePoint directory will be created. And so we leverage the access control policy built by SharePoint here to ensure that users can only query data that they have access to currently. So for example, if there are some channels that I don't have access to or some teams altogether that I don't have access to, I won't be able to see the data in those channels, and I won't be able to query the data from other channels unless I have access to them based on your company's access control policy. And so we're going to be going through this demo channel. You'll notice that the demo channel here has some resumes and job postings that we'll be querying, and it also has some HR related documents that we'll be querying as well. So to get us started here, you can ask something like, what dental plan is provided to TruData employees? And it'll let you know are offered dental benefits from the United Concordia dental plan. You can ask it, what are the effective dates for the dental plan? One of the nice additions that we've made here is that there'll be automatically generated follow-up questions that you can click to kind of generate follow-up questions that might be associated with the questions that you've been asking before. Another nice addition is that it'll also cite the precise document where it's finding where it's getting this information from, and so you'll notice that that document is available here as well in this dental.pdf that it linked right there. Additionally, we can ask things more kind of like HR related questions based on the documents that we have in the file system here. So we can ask it, can you summarize the Blue Shield Trio plan? And yeah, it'll go through and kind of detail the healthcare plan that's listed in our documents there. We can ask it some follow-up questions and see what it says. But this, you could imagine some tooling like this saving a lot of time from your HR teams, who might have to spend a lot of time answering employees' questions. Instead, the employees can kind of query to the extent of their interest through all the documents that your HR team might have available. Another pretty interesting use case here is for recruiting teams. And so you might have noticed that we had a job posting and some resumes available in that directory as well. You can ask it to query multiple documents at the same time and compile the results. So let's ask it something like, are there any resumes that have relevant skill sets for the cloud solutions architect job posting at TruData? And it'll say, yes, this person's resume has relevant skill sets for that job posting. And we can ask, what specific skill sets does this person hold that are relevant for the job posting? And so it'll say specifically, it has these few data, these interesting skill sets that match what's asked for in the job posting. And so you can imagine that this, maybe you have thousands of resumes in your file system, and maybe hundreds of job postings as well. And you can imagine how this would save you so much time from having to individually query these documents one by one manually. Some other really exciting use cases that we imagine are for engineering teams, where you might have a lot of documentation or meeting notes, and being able to kind of review these meeting notes in a summarized kind of way would be really handy. And now let's kind of show the access control policy that we're leveraging here as well. Here in this recruitment demo channel, you'll notice that we don't have any of the HR related documents. Now if we try to ask it one of those questions that we asked previously about the HR related documents, we'll notice that it's unable to answer that. It's unable to come up with an answer because it doesn't have access to these documents. Is provided to TruData. Awesome, yeah, so it'll say it doesn't know. And you can imagine this feature being really handy as well. I'm an engineer. I don't have access to the management team's channels. I don't have access to the marketing team's channels or the sales team's channels. But if I was able to query this information, this might not be great for the company overall if people were able to query documents that they don't have access to. So by leveraging the inherent SharePoint access control policy here, we're able to ensure that your data is sequestered and that access control is not only managed on the document viewing side, but also on the querying side from this entire app that we built. Yeah, so overall that demoed a few of the really interesting features that we've built and how this system works overall. You're able to have access to this chatbot from where you can query documents in the associated Teams channels. And we've also shown how documents that aren't associated with your Teams account aren't able to be queried.